You've probably heard about Tadalafil. It's one of the most widely used medications for treating erectile dysfunction, and for many men, it's been a game changer. But what happens when it doesn't work the way you expect? You take the pill, you wait for the right time, and when the moment for intimacy finally arrives, the result is disappointing. Maybe nothing happens at all, or the erection isn't as firm or as long-lasting as you'd hoped. It's a frustrating and often confusing experience that can leave you feeling like the medication has failed you. But what if I told you that in many of these cases, the problem isn't the pill itself? What if the issue lies with 3 other factors that can completely undermine its effects? Today, we're going to talk about the 3 most common erection blockers that can reduce the effectiveness of Tadalafil. Understanding these factors is the first step toward overcoming them and giving the medication the best possible chance to work for you. Before we dive into what stops Tadalafil from working, it's crucial to understand how it's supposed to work in the first place. Many men believe it's an automatic switch for an erection, but that's a common misconception. Tadalafil belongs to a class of drugs called PDE5 inhibitors. To put it simply, its job is to help relax the smooth muscles and widen the blood vessels in your penis. This process is called vasodilation. When these blood vessels are wider, more blood can flow into the penis, which is what creates a firm erection. Think of it like this. Tadalafil is like upgrading the plumbing in your house. It replaces old, narrow pipes with new, wider ones, making it much easier for water to flow through. But here's the most important part. Even with the best plumbing in the world, the water won't flow until you turn on the faucet. In this analogy, turning on the faucet is the signal from your brain. Tadalafil doesn't create that signal. It only enhances your body's physical response once the signal has been sent. This brings us to the very first, and most critical, factor that can stop the medication from working. The first reason Tadalafil might not be working for you is a lack of adequate sexual stimulation. Remember our plumbing analogy? The medication prepares your body for an erection, but your brain has to give the green light. That green light is sexual arousal. Tadalafil doesn't create desire. It works with the desire that is already there. This means you can't just take a pill, sit on the couch watching the news, and expect a magical result. Your body needs a reason to divert blood flow to the penis. That reason comes from stimulation, which can be psychological, physical, or both. Psychological stimulation includes things like erotic thoughts, fantasies, and the emotional connection you feel with your partner. It's about being mentally present and engaged in the moment. If your mind is distracted by work, stress, or other worries, it's not sending the strong arousal signals your body needs to get the process started. Physical stimulation is just as important. This includes foreplay, touching, kissing, and everything that builds intimacy and excitement before intercourse. This physical contact sends powerful signals to the brain, reinforcing the message that it's time to initiate an erection. So, if you're taking Tadalafil and not seeing results, the first question to ask yourself is, am I truly creating an environment of arousal? Are both my mind and my body engaged? You have to turn on the faucet. The medication can't do that for you. It's designed to be a powerful co-pilot, but you still need to be the one flying the plane. Without stimulation, the best pill in the world is like a high-performance engine that never gets turned on. The second major factor that can completely overpower the effects of Tadalafil is fear, specifically performance anxiety. The mind is incredibly powerful, and your emotional state can create a physiological response that directly fights against what the medication is trying to do. Here's what happens. When you feel anxious or afraid of not being able to perform, your body enters a state of fight or flight. This is a primal survival instinct. Your brain perceives a threat, in this case, the threat of failure, and it releases a surge of hormones, most notably adrenaline. Adrenaline has many effects, but one of its primary jobs is to prepare your body for immediate action. It does this by causing vasoconstriction. It tightens and narrows your blood vessels to redirect blood to your major muscles, like your legs and arms, so you can either fight the threat or run away from it. Now, do you see the problem? Tadalafil is working to create vasodilation, to widen your blood vessels. At the exact same time, the adrenaline released by your anxiety is working to create vasoconstriction, to narrow them. Your body is getting two completely opposite commands at once. It's like pressing the accelerator and the brake in your car at the same time. Which one wins? In most cases, the brain's survival instinct, the fear response, wins out. The signal to protect you from a perceived threat is more powerful than the signal for sexual arousal. As a result, the blood flow that Tadalafil was trying to encourage gets shut down by adrenaline. Your body simply cannot maintain an erection while it's in a state of anxiety. This is why a man can feel aroused, take the medication, but then lose his erection the moment he starts to worry about whether it will be good enough. That single thought can trigger the adrenaline response and undo all the work the medication has done. Overcoming performance anxiety is a topic for another day, but recognizing its immense power is the first step. Your emotional state isn't just in your head. It has a direct, physical, and immediate impact on your body. It's clear that managing your mental state is a huge part of the puzzle. But I know that for many men, trying to overcome performance anxiety on top of everything else can feel overwhelming and complex. It often feels like you're fighting a battle on two fronts. That's why I want to briefly show you a completely different approach that over 63,000 men are now using. It's a simple, 100% natural home remedy that takes just 7 seconds to do. It's designed to address the real scientific root cause of performance problems, helping restore rock-solid erections naturally, without the anxiety. If you're curious to see how it works, I've put a QR code on the screen right now. Just open your phone's camera and point it at the code to watch a short, eye-opening video that explains everything. Don't worry if you miss it. I've also put a direct link to the same video as the top pinned comment below. Now, with that said, let's dive into the third and final factor that can impact Tadalafil's effectiveness. The third factor that can significantly hinder Tadalafil's effectiveness is its interaction with alcohol. It's very common to have a drink to relax before being intimate, but when you're relying on medication for an erection, this can be a counterproductive choice. Alcohol is a depressant of the central nervous system. In simple terms, this means it slows everything down. It dulls the communication between your brain and the rest of your body. The nerve signals that are responsible for everything from your thoughts to your physical reflexes become slower and less efficient. This creates a direct conflict with what you're trying to achieve. An erection depends on rapid and clear communication between your brain, nerves, and blood vessels. You need sharp signals to trigger arousal and precise physical responses to maintain blood flow. Alcohol interferes with this entire process. Think of it like trying to have an important phone conversation on a line with a lot of static. The message might eventually get through, but it will be weak, distorted, and delayed. That's what alcohol does to your nervous system. So, while you're taking a medication designed to enhance your body's response, you're simultaneously consuming a substance that is suppressing it. The stimulating effect you need for an erection is being dampened by the depressant effect of the alcohol. Even a moderate amount of alcohol can be enough to interfere. It can lower your level of arousal, delay your reaction time, and make it physically harder for your body to respond to the signals that Tadalafil is trying to amplify. In this scenario, you're asking the medication to work much harder to achieve the same result, and in many cases, the depressant effect of the alcohol will simply be too much to overcome. So, to bring it all together, if Tadalafil isn't delivering the results you expected, it's time to look beyond the pill itself. First, remember that it requires stimulation. Tadalafil enhances your body's response to arousal. It doesn't create arousal on its own. You need to engage both your mind and body to kickstart the process. Second, be mindful of performance anxiety. The fear of failure releases adrenaline, which directly counteracts the effects of the medication by constricting blood vessels. Your mental and emotional state plays a huge role in your physical response. And third, be cautious with alcohol. As a depressant, it slows down your nervous system and can sabotage the very signals that Tadalafil is designed to support. Understanding these three factors empowers you. It shifts the focus from "my medication isn't working" to "what can I do to create the best conditions for it to succeed?" Of course, it's essential to have this conversation with your doctor. They can help you determine the right dosage and rule out any other underlying health issues. This information is meant to educate, not to replace professional medical advice. By taking a more holistic approach and understanding the powerful connection between your mind, your body, and your environment, you can finally unlock the full potential of your treatment and work toward the satisfying, intimate life you deserve.